there has been a huge proliferation of affordable, maybe better said, cheap multi-tools in all different quarters in the last couple years. I've been keeping my eye on them. I want to see if the quality levels get up to where, I don't know, a Leatherman, maybe a Victorinox MT is. This is a Nutnfancy MT review on just such an option, perhaps answering the question, is a $15 multi-tool any good? Welcome to my review of Kobalt 15-in-1 medium duty multi-tool model 60393. Like you, I gravitate to the hardware section, just checking things out, maybe getting some needed tools for the shop at Lowe's. And for my European viewers, I don't know if Lowe's are over there. They might be. But definitely here in the US, Lowe's are everywhere. And so this is an easily purchased multi-tool. $15. I passed the rack and I was looking, I was like, I wonder if that's any good. You know, in the package it looks good. Polished, kind of like a Victorinox. You know, I think they polish it, by the way, to make it more attractive to the passing consumer. Attracts their attention. Also, this is a multi-tool marketed to the general tool consumer, I would say. Getting in, I don't know, wherever, philosophy views, if it's anywhere there. So it's really not designed for multi-tool addicts like me, like you maybe if you're watching this video. It's designed to attract the dude that's in there to buy a drill, whatever. Hey, this is a good multi-tool. It's only $15 and it comes with a lifetime warranty. Seems like a pretty good bet, right? Let's jump into it. I'm going to classify this as a medium duty multi-tool at 9.6 ounces. Check out my multi-tool continuum by Nutnfancy. You can type that in the YouTube search line and that'll come up with a video. I'm just going to make this an old school video. No annotations if I can get away with it. So multi-tool continuum, Nutnfancy, and I talk about my philosophy, how I break down the different categories. Okay, I would not use this as a primary multi-tool. It might be one to put in a survival kit, a car kit, one that you don't anticipate using that very frequently. Maybe a loaner that you don't mind your buddies loaning. Okay, materials. It's a mystery to me. It's a mystery to you because they don't list it because they're not going to brag about it. They're not going to brag about the blade steel because it sucks. Okay, it's overproduced, overseas produced, very low quality, stainless steel. We don't know anything about it really. I think this is marketed by Sheffield or something like that. So I really don't know what else to tell you that. It's a stainless steel, generic materials, and that takes us to tool reviews. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. I did this one a little bit different. I just opened everything up. One reason is they're not really fast to get out. Okay, and another thing, and this is a big downside of this $15 multi-tool, is they do not lock. Nothing locks. Not the blade, not the drivers, not the saw, nothing. Let's start up here though. I think the pliers, however, are excellent. Yep, there's some good things about this MT, and they're excellent. I want to close it up here at the end. Maybe we'll snip some nails or something. I already did it, and they work great. For medium thickness nails, you know, wire of that sort, coat hangers, they'll work good. They're very reminiscent, and I'm going to bring this into the review by way of comparison, the Leatherman Blast. They're very reminiscent of Leatherman plier heads, if you ask me. Okay, notice also they're mimicking Leatherman in their logo. Although they don't say Leatherman here, they say stainless, right? It makes it look like it's inlaid. Notice this is cast in. Remember the SHOT Show 2011 booth review I did with Leatherman? They said that's very expensive to do. Okay, that's actually cast in relief. So that's relief. They make it look like that. Actually, this is just printed on the side of the tool head. Okay, they're trying to psych out the consumer there. Huh, debunking the hype in TMP. Precise plier heads though. They match up pretty good. They grabbed well. They got serrations that work. They're relatively precise in that dimension. I actually like the plier heads, and they're spring loaded. You may dig that too. How about the saw? The saw looks kind of short, and I wasn't really sure how it would operate. It does pretty good though. I cross-cut a couple boards down in the shop. It worked great. Well, let me back up. Not great. It worked adequately. Okay. I think it's hollow ground there, so that reduces drag for the saw blade. That's nice. That brings us to drivers. I don't like the shape of the drivers on the Kobalt 15-in-1 multi-tool. They're too rounded. See those flat-bladed drivers there? They're polished for one, which means they're not going to have a lot of traction. They're not ground well. or let me just say precisely, so they don't, I find that they didn't sit in the flathead screw that well. You got 3 varieties. There's your medium, there's your large, and maybe that's a small one. And does that look familiar, that can opener? It should, because it's just like a Victorinox pretty much. It does work, tried it. Decent. I didn't mind it. This brings us to the main blade. Let me close these up. Okay, the main blade is a disappointment. Okay, not going to hold back. It's a very thin drop point, and it came very dull out of package. Slapped it on the Edge Pro Apex, worked it over, and now it has a pretty good edge on it. Mystery steel, though, it's just stainless. That's all we know about it, and so it's going to dull very quickly. Probably easy enough to sharpen, but you're going to be sharpening it all the time. Hollow ground. Okay, at least it's not, you know, combo edge. I'm talking like serrations that you don't need to. But wait, you do have that over here, right? Where'd it go? The serrated blade. Boy, look at this funky amalgamation. Oh my goodness, is that ugly or what? It's a sheep foot combo serration pattern they got on the Kobalt. I hate it. Not good. It rips. It doesn't cut. Although through cardboard it did pretty good. I think you'd probably, put it against here, you'd probably rip those teeth out over time if you hard used it. But not being locking on all the cutting blades, you're kind of limited to how hard you can use them, aren't you? So I don't like this. It's not good. Oh, I'm sorry, there it is, the cap lifter. I was looking at the wrong one. And there's your largest. I guess you have 4 flat drivers on there, and there's your largest right there. Kind of looks like Victorinox as well, and that worked fine. No problems. And the bummer is you only have one Phillips driver. Hope you like it, because that's all you got, and it's a very small variety. Looks like it's, I don't know, not too precise, maybe stamped out, not machined. Okay, and it's very short, so you've got no reach from it. So if you have to get into a nook or cranny, both with the flat blade and for the Phillips, not so awesome. I was surprised by the file. I worked it over on both aluminum and a steel screw, and it actually did pretty good. It worked. It's file on the bottom there, so you can notch with it. 2 different, what am I trying to say, roughness levels. The fine one didn't work so good. The rough one worked better for me in my testing down there. Do not like the rubber grips. I generally hate rubber grips on tools. Here's why. They grab fabric. They don't add that much comfort. They get dirty over time. I mean, look at your tools that are rubber gripped, and you'll see they're just coated in dirt usually. And it's hard to get off. They usually just get stained and stay that way. Stained and stay that way. And I just don't dig it. I think it's more of a gimmick than anything. Some guys will like it though. Okay, now that I've got the tools folded up, let's check that wire cutting capability. Okay, so here's a small nail. Put that right there. What I wanted to do this, and I've already done it, is it's probably about 4 cuts, is to see if we get any deformation in that plier head. After the cuts that I've done, again, not super extensive, I can say that, no, gotta bear down on this one. Okay, pretty good. Like I said, I don't mind the pliers. I think the pliers are good. It's a big plus for these. Oh, by the way, they lock with pretty good detents too. Here comes the detents of the pliers. Again, no side-to-side movement. Good closure. Excellent. Downside on the multi-tool overall, though, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, is the thickness. Don't dig the thickness. For our European friends, 20 millimeters thick. Yep. We'll let the Americans do the conversion this time. 20 millimeters thick is what I measured it. Look at the individual spring sets on those. That's pretty good. Tool accessibility is not superb. Okay, it's okay. You got to fish it out. And I'm not trying to do this. I'm just doing it. They come out, and it's not great. We have issues on other multi-tools. I'm not going to act like we don't, but the big blades come out relatively good. None of the blades in the tool sets are accessible from the exterior of the tool. Okay, the downsides, well, let me get to downsides in a second, but first, remember, $15. Let's roll the blast in, have everything flipped out so you can see it. This is going to be more than double the price, and that's if you get a good, good price on the blast. Previously reviewed, highly recommended here in TMP. Look up the review if you want to see it. I love the blast. Everything I said about in the review still holds. Super lightweight, well made, US made, Zytel lined. Have no problems with that. Look at the thin hollow ground saw blade on that. Works better than this one, of course. Look at the reach on that driver. Excellent. Look at the little tiny eyeglass driver, both with flat and Phillips heads. There's another flat blade driver, larger with reach. And look at the precise grind on them too. Okay, these are drivers that stay in the screw slots. Look at the steel, or the stainless steel blade. 420 series or something like that. Not outstanding, but better, I guarantee, than this. Comes razor sharp out of the box, and everything locks. I mean, I've got it jacked up now because it's open. Oh, and there's a lanyard. I'm not going to open that up. You see it right there. Attached as a lanyard. Scissors. You guys know I love the scissors. Long reach, ground, screwdriver. There's the file there. It's longer than the Kobalt. There's the the can opener with a wire stripper at the base. Okay. The Blast is a superior multi-tool. No joke. Of course it should be. It's more expensive. There's your hard wire cutter, your regular wire cutter there, and the Leatherman jaws we've looked at 1,000 times. Okay, the downsides though of this. I would say first off, it's very thick. It's heavy for what it is. Definitely heavier than the Blast or the Fuse series. I'm just using those arbitrarily by way of reference. None of the tools lock. For the cutting tools, I think that's very bad, right? I think so. It's not good. I mean, I'm trying to get this configured off camera here. Leatherman Blast. Okay, here we go. I fold those other ones up. So this is a locking tool. Now I can hard cut with that, right? Try doing it with that and it can fold on your fingers. Maybe in some jurisdictions, localities, the non-locking feature will be a plus. Okay, I think it lacks a selection of Phillips drivers. That's kind of a bummer. It has no scissors. The serrated blade is an absolute joke. Rubber sides, not so great. However, keep in mind the price. And when we talk about value, bottom talking point, the sheath. The sheath is actually pretty decent. It's formed, no quick attachment capability, but for a $15 multi-tool, it comes with a sheath that snaps well. Decent. I mean, compared to the Blast sheath, actually, I don't know if this is the one that came with it, but the Leatherman sheaths are excellent. Two-way carryable, Velcro. You can open the multi-tool and carry it just like I've shown you in other reviews. Excellent. Durability, I don't know how it will be. You know, I haven't hard used it. I just did some preliminary tests on it. If you guys have some hard tests that you've done on your Kobalt model 60393, let the world know in the comments below. Good loaner, absolutely. If you're money strapped, I mean really money strapped, it might be a good option for you for a heavier MDMT. But if I were you, if it's going to be like a multi-tool that I'm going to personally use, and I want pride of ownership, I would probably save up and get a Leatherman. Maybe save up, get a Victorinox. One of the other ones I've reviewed, highly recommended, like that. They are superior in quality, form, and function. Yes, they're more expensive, but sometimes value is not always in the price. It's pride of ownership it gives you, and it's the longevity. But again, money's tight. $15, doable. That's a Nutnfancy review. See it.